Let's talk about the Fringe Beard from the Gnomes of Grimblewood. So this beard is the narrow version. The small and straight is what it's called in the book. There is also a wide and curly. The wide and curly will have more stitches on it, but the process will be the same. So what I've done is I have cast on the number of stitches in the pattern and I've worked it. I have attached a removable stitch marker on the side of the beard where I'm always going to be doing the knit through the back loop stitches. So this is a flag for me. If this is on the side where I'm knitting, that's where I'm doing the knit two togethers. So what you want to be doing is you want to have the same column of stitches where those two stitches are knit through the back loop. That twists them and tightens them up so that when we drop and fringe this, this does not kind of open up and go all gappy. So by putting a removable stitch marker, it becomes a little more clear which ones are the ones we're supposed to knit through the back loop. If you've done the long tail cast on as suggested, it will also be, the end will also be on that side. So since I am on the right side and this is on this side, this means I will start by knitting two through the back loop. So I will just do that. The beard is done on sort of regular size needles, but holding the yarn doubled. So it is going to be very tight. All right, so to knit through the back loop, rather than going through the front and going tip to tip like this, we're gonna go tip across tip and go through the back of that loop, knitting each one of these first two stitches through the back loop. Then we knit the rest of the row normally. All right, then we turn. Our removable stitch marker isn't on the same side as the first two stitches. So that means that these first two stitches are our knit normally. So knit normally. Now I'm at the side, I'm at the two stitches there that are going to be knit through the back loop. So I'm going to do that again. And now we are at the final bit of this beard. So what do we do to finish this off? So I keep it like this, I don't turn it. The removable stitch marker is still going to be on my left side of my work. I'm going to cut this. I can leave it nice and long in case I want to use this side to attach. I'm on the wrong side of the work. The removable stitch marker is on my left, and I'm going to take my left needle tip. I'm going to skip the first stitch on the needle. I'm going to grab the second one, making sure to grab both legs or both strands of that stitch. I'm going to pull it up and over like a bind off. Okay, so now we have sort of bound off one stitch. We're going to take the left needle tip, we'll go through this stitch, and we're going to pull on that yarn and we'll pull, pull, pull and fasten it off. So now these two stitches, the stitches that we knit through the back loop all the way, they are secure. They're not going anywhere. So now we pull our needle out of these last ones because these are the ones we want to drop down and go all fringy. So what we want to be doing is we want to be dropping these stitches down. And so I like to not go where the loops are, but between the two loops. There's like a little flat bit between, and if I tug on that, they usually pop out nice and easily. All right, so we pull on this, and it's really important that we pull all the way to the last bit of those stitches, especially on the wide and curly one. If you don't get every last bit of both strands of yarn popped out, it'll start to feel like you're knotting and you can't figure out what's going on. So always make sure that as you're doing and you're pulling these stitches apart, that you are, I'm gonna go to the other side, it's easier. All right, so I'm just gonna pull down and go all the way. So pull down, go through, pull down, go through. And that, I can tell I'm going all the way to the end, and that's just going to open these up. Now we've knit this double stranded so that we've got more beard hairs. This is a really fun beard to try with different kinds of yarn like mohair or boucle or what's the word I'm looking for? Like a novelty yarn. However, the more textured the yarn, the more difficult it is to actually get it to drop down and go through these last bits. So just be aware that you may have to be a little more patient with yourself. So this is what the short and straight version looks like. Obviously the wide and curly, what you will have done is before you start dropping all those stitches down, so after you've secured that last stitch, you get the whole thing wet. You let it dry, and then when you go to drop the stitches down, the stitches will have dried in the shape of the crinkly ramen style noodles that come in the instant packages. And that's the difference between them. There's a few more stitches, a few more rows wide, and then you get it wet and then let it dry before actually doing the step where you fringe the beard. Hope this helps. Happy gnoming.